pepper that was in our mouth with ketchup, and I'm like, oh, what? I remember having to drink so much water and milk after that scene. Cause bruh, my mouth was on fire. Hi, I'm Adeoluwa Akintoba, and I'm a Nolly Icon. I used to work in radio. Then like COVID happened, and then I got laid off. I'm like, bro, I can't just sit at home. The next thing you know, I'm like, oh, let me go learn videography. Then from there was the audition for Prophetess, and then I got into film. But before that, I had like featured in like my uncle's Christian film in like 2017. Yeah. When I was filming Prophetess, I was also assistant costume designer on that. One of the films I've done also, number one, I was in charge of costume for the whole film. It won best costume at an award or something. I also did for a couple of, Progressive Tailors Club, The Man for the Job, I think that's pretty much, and My Village People. I mean, if you love fashion, it's pretty much easy for you. So you're basically in charge of curating the entire lookbook for the film. And I'm just passionate about dressing good and colors and everything. So it just helped. Every character has to stand out. Every character has to stand out, and it depends on what type of film it is. I mean, so for the film, I was in charge of the costume because I had learned under one of the best in Nollywood, Valerio Keke. Doing the lookbook wasn't so hard for me, and because it was a young person film imitates life. So I mean, you draw from society. So basically, I just drew from society. How would this type of person dress if it was an actual real life person? Because characters are also real people in the film world. So that's pretty much what I did. Tosan leaked.
What's wrong? It's too early in the time to be an angry bird.
Whatever. Gosh, I hate your school. It's full of rich, spoiled bullies.
This was the scene for my audition. I feel like Tosan was like my alter ego, in a sense, like all the way from the auditions. The producer at TLC, she's like my big sister now. We hadn't met, but like she said, once she saw my picture, she was like, yeah, this is her Tosan. I'm like, me, any audition I go for, I don't even listen to the fact that I know anybody or anything. Like, I'm just going there to get it done. So I remember going into the audition room and I already had my monologue done. And I didn't even finish my monologue. They were like, so we need you to play someone who doesn't care about school and he wants to get something that he deserves. And yeah, I did that. And they were like, okay, thank you. We'll get back to you. No, just go to the room and we'll wait. I'm like, okay, why are we waiting? Tosan pretty much believes that he's smarter than everybody in the school, which is what nerds believe. But I didn't play it the regular, nerd, he's shy, outcast, they bully him a lot. I played it from the fact that he's smart, his parents are rich, probably his parents don't pay attention to him. So he devotes his life to his gadgets and, all of that and becoming a better version of himself. He really doesn't care about school because he's read so much that he feels like, ugh, I should be out of here by now. But one person that he confides in is like his best friend, Eneka. And yeah, that's pretty much the backstory I developed for him. Tosan was obviously, he's the type of, I'm very quiet, but you really don't want to cross my path. Because he's a nerd, I can ride all over him. Those bursts of anger needed to always come out so that you know that, okay, this is not someone I want to be on his bad side on a regular day.
School and our students.
But Ma,
we are handling this matter internally. That'll be all for now, Monife.
So for this scene, I decided to give Tosan like a character, this thing. It was like where he was always flipping his biro, that kind of thing, because his hands always have to do something. Now, in this scene, he was actually flipping, but because it was kind of distracting, director said to just make it under the table. Now, the reason for that hand movement was because at that point, she needed solace and support. And it was also like a means for him to pass out his anger, because at this point, the principal is really not saying what he wants to hear. I mean, something should actually be done. And he's grown a certain level of care for Monife, and she believes that she can rely on him, that kind of thing. So the arm movement was basically a case of, no problem, we'll find a way around this. I mean, we did it the first time. There's nothing that stops us from doing it now. Just like to let her know that everything's going to be fine. So all the supporting roles I've always played are always key to the story. So whatever my character does affects the film as a whole. I always play it like you are still in front of the camera you're just as important as the lead, even though you're not the lead character. So I also make sure my performances are not, I'm supposed to have a character, I don't have to do much. I always give it my 101%. Fola Jr., Sista.
You've grown so fast.
It just takes me back to when we're filming it on set, and it just goes to the beauty of being an actor, because in that scene, it's a case of you're meant to massage your mom and everything. Most of the time, as a kid, you don't want to massage your mom. Like, Mom, why are you telling me to massage you? I want to do my own thing. But like in that scene, you needed to see little words had to be said, and your face and your body language had to do the storytelling, and it was conveyed really well. I mean, I'm looking at that scene and I'm smiling, and I'm just going back like, yeah. Now I see why people are always saying like, oh my god, that they gave us a performance and bad. I mean, this scene actually speaks to you, shows you the love that kids have for their mom, and how their mom is their world. His mom is his everything. Same for it's a symbiotic relationship. He cherishes her so much. He cherishes his mom so much, and he would do anything in the world for his mom. I pretty much played it that Sista was actually my own mother, like my own mother in real life, and what the things I would do for my mom and the sacrifices she's made. So all the love and all this thing that you were seeing on screen was actually from my heart. It was my second time working with Auntie Kenny Bankole, but first time we worked together was on Prophetess, but I was, assistant costume, and I was also but this was the first time we actually had to have that, mother-son relationship, and she made it easy. She made it work so well. We're always relating, we're always talking. She was always finding out what's going on with me. I was always finding out what's going on with her, So the chemistry and everything was seamless. It was beautiful.
What's happening?
She say I thief gold.
Ma, I think...
And Fola, just come. Ma, bye-bye.
Yeah, so you see the part where he's actually, like I said, her husband, like a standing husband, like he'd do anything for his mom, stealing gold. Like she's never, it sounds so foreign to him. And his mom steps in, like, there's no need to talk. I mean, those are the consequences I face, and because of the jobs I do. Then second scene, telling her that he wants to go back to school, start tutoring other kids so that he can make some money on the side for himself, so she doesn't have to bother so much about cleaning, because it's taking a toll on her health, which we saw in one of the previous scenes that we played, where they were massaging her and everything. So he's going to do his very possible best to make sure that his mom is comfortable.
Yam. Batami. My everything. Thank you for all you do for us. Mommy, is everything okay?
Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
So this scene, when I first read in the script, I knew that, okay, this is one of the high moments of the scene, and you can't afford to mess it up. So I thought, infusing Yoruba into the lines would make it more pass across more meaning, because, they're Yoruba family. Yoruba holds a lot of weight. So, Sista mi atpatami, my rock. If you say my rock in English, you don't feel the way, but atpatami, like she knows that, he's grateful. And this scene was him coming from a place, he just wants to say thank you, because he sees all that his mom has done and all that she's doing. And he just wants to say thank you and appreciate her. And when he sees that she's crying, it's weird to him. That's the protector in him coming out that, oh, what's really wrong? That if we're the ones that are stressing you, let us know what's going on. I mean, when we rehearse this scene, because we don't just shoot it, we rehearse the scenes. And when we rehearse this scene, we all cried. Cast and crew, the director, everybody cried. But I'm like, I don't feel Fola should cry, because that takes away because if he's crying, so it takes away the protective version of him. But I didn't play it too hard. I said that, he should be soft. He should be soft about it, that kind of thing, because at the end of the day, he grew up with mostly a mom. So as much as he can't exactly be that much of a hard guy, he's pretty much a soft, let's just say he's a mommy's boy. So he's a soft boy. So there was no need to be too hard and coarse about it in the delivery of the lines or anything. He just needed to be soft and caring.
So, you're our dad?
Father.
There's a difference between the two. I am your dad.
A lot of people hated Fola Jr. and his sister for doing this anu because they're like, you don't know this man and you just accepted him from nowhere. Now, the scene where the man introduces himself, Fola Jr. is obviously angry with the questions he's asking because, I mean, so all this suffering that we're suffering is for no reason. Next thing, we see him hanging around with his dad. And you don't blame the kids for hanging around with their dad. Honestly, I feel like, because the way Sista brought them up was a case of, I'm bringing you up in love. I'm bringing you up to appreciate the good things of life. I'm bringing you up to be content. And so in my head, what Fola Jr. was doing here was, this is a better life. A better life for him, his sister, his mom. In his mind, he's protecting his mom from all of this, but she doesn't see it that way. It's a case of, I cared for you guys, and this is how, this thanks I get. You're going back to someone that was hardly there for you. They're on two, completely different planes until she then explains to him why she's doing what she's doing. Big ups to Auntie Kenny, by the way. When we were shooting, before we started shooting, she said she got herself intentionally tired for the character. So just to help with our performance. And it's these things like this that you see, the older generation doing that makes you want to become even better. That makes you want to, every character you take on, for me, I don't want to act the character. I want to become the character. So when people see me, they're like, damn, okay. Your moms will always look out for you no matter what. She just doesn't want them to experience the same thing she experienced. I mean, because if the guy had decided, I'm going to up and leave again, it would have broken them and shattered them to a lot of pieces. I just imagined what my dad would be like had he not died. And when I met him, he was everything I imagined. And now those lines, to me, every single line, there's a purpose behind every single line. Why are you saying every single line as an actor? And it's necessary to understand why the character is saying those lines and how the lines should be conveyed. I'm angry with you is different from I'm angry with you. Do you get what I mean? Now, he's apologizing, and it's from a place of deep regret because he knows that he messed up. He knows that the time he should have been his mom's protector, he wasn't his mom's protector. There was that bit of selfishness on his part. Humans were inherently selfish, and that's not how they were brought up. They were brought up in love, they were brought up in kindness and everything. So he says, Sister, you're my everything. I'm sorry that I didn't think of your pain. Every child that didn't grow up with their dad imagines that, if their dad was ever alive, he'd be a rich man, he'd be a big man. And, these kids got to actually see their dad, and it was everything they had imagined. And for, let's say, like a brief, really fast minute, Fola thought what he was doing was for the betterment of his mom and for himself. But at that moment, he was being selfish. Let's be honest, he was being selfish, but he didn't see it like that till she made him see it like that. As an actor, you actually have to have empathy, because if you don't, I really don't think you're gonna give your best performances for characters. Actors and crew work very hard to bring the films we love to screen. Please support their official release. Edafe, Mokoro, Slum King. Whew. Not gonna lie, that scene was intense. We shot that scene for the whole day. That was my last scene, like, for the film that I shot with the entire cast and crew. Where I want to start? There's a lot of emotions going into it because I knew that whatever I did in that scene was gonna make or break the film. And because, like, the tension was on Edafe, I knew I couldn't mess it up. So, it starts off with him happy it's his birthday. Then the traumatic event happens and everything is actually his fault because, he forgot to close the door. I'm good with emotional scenes, but when it comes to crying, I'm not, quote unquote, the best at, generating the tears. I know how to emote, I know how to feel the emotions, but to get the tears to come out, I don't know how to do that perfectly. So, yeah, and because of how we film, okay, cut, staying in that mind frame is, oh my goodness, because on a film set, everybody's moving up and down, a lot of things are going on. So staying in that mind frame was hard. It was hard because everything that could go wrong that day went wrong. It's do or die for me. That's how it is for acting, is do or die. If I don't get it, I'm gonna ask for another take because it has to be good. And even when I feel like it's good, I feel like it can be better. And even when I feel like it's bad, I feel like I'm giving my best. Edafe is honestly one of my toughest characters because nigga went through a lot. I remember going back home, I'm like, Jesus, I just cried. I just finished crying all that cry. 2-3 days after, I'm still crying. I actually thought I was okay, but 2-3 days after, I'm still crying. I didn't know how much it took on me mentally, that scene, till like after I was done. Even the character as a whole, till after I was done. Because the character had to be depressed, he has to be schizophrenic, he had to be sad. And I'm not that person. Edafe and I are completely two different worlds, completely. And he starts his life out on a high and then it just goes to a low. So I had to maintain that emotion for the duration of the scene. If I remember viewers saying that there was always, even on set also, they were like, there's this particular face he gives to the character, like I don't know how he does it, that kind of thing. But the character needed it and it had to be done. So I mean, there's sometimes like, I remember after shooting Slum King, it was almost very hard for me to get out of Edafe because when I wanted to start my next project, I was like, this character is not Edafe, this character is not Edafe, snap out of it, that kind of thing. For me, I don't want people to watch two of my films and be like, oh, he did the same thing here now. Feature films is you're pretty much shooting all the time if you're one of the lead or supporting. So you're on set almost every day. So it's almost easy to stay in character. And for series, because of the, magnitude and complexity of shooting a series and locations and everything, you could shoot for the first 3 days and you don't have to shoot until another 1 month. So it's easy for you to, get out of character, that kind of thing. And as an actor, you don't want to start doing one thing with the character and then get back on set and you're doing something completely different with the character. So there's the complexity to it. And thankfully for me, the character was always shooting almost every other day. And I didn't have to like take a huge break away from the character. So that was what actually helped me stay in character. My eyes had to do most of the talking for me with this character most of the time because, after witnessing something like that, and he was the only one that survived, it's pretty much like his voice is gone, literally. Not literally, but like his voice, his reason to live, there was no more reason to live. His entire family is gone. Chance of a better life. He wanted to be a doctor, that kind of thing. It's all gone. I remember when I was talking with Toby Bakri, because we broke down the character together. We're talking about the character. It was a case of bare fact that you have to constantly think in your head that the character wants to commit suicide, but you're not a suicidal person. Had to play in our heads. So it kind of got me and Toby on the same wavelength even after we finished filming because there were some times that we would look at each other and we knew what we were thinking. That was how much we had bonded with this character. And I'm so glad that we were able to do complete justice to it until now. People still go back and watch Slum King and they say it's one of their favorite shows, one of the best things to air on Nigerian airspace till date. I even practiced talking to like air just so that I could nail, when he's talking to his dead family members and like obviously there's nobody there and that kind of thing. So I'm an actor, so normally I talk to myself in a mirror, but now I'm talking to thin air. It almost questions your sanity as a whole. I remember filming the fight scene. We had to change because we had already rehearsed like a fight scene before going on set, and we're happy with it. Then we get on set and we see that, oh, right, the space is smaller. We have to make do with the space. So we changed the fight scene completely. Then director now says, you're not just fighting in this scene, you're letting out everything. Like, so all that inbuilt anger, all that inbuilt rage. I remember having to take it like paracetamol like twice because that scene took a toll on me because we're literally throwing each other around as much as, it's film and we have to do our best to make it's film. So we're literally throwing each other around, doing us kind of trying to be careful we don't injure each other, but we're still throwing each other around, that kind of thing. I'm also shouting as I'm doing this. I'm not actually punching him, like it's just like small grazes here, there, that kind of thing. But I remember having to take like multiple, painkillers that day because, I think we started shooting by like 3. We didn't finish like 9, like 6 hours just for that scene. So it was crazy because they would say pause, let's do the close of this, put blood in your mouth, punches you, that kind of thing. So as much as you think it's just fighting, like I said, even with just your movement, every movement has a reason. And Edafe, till date, is one of my toughest characters that I have played because it took me to a completely different mental space. And I'll say it's one of my best performances ever. Smallie, #1. I mean, I knew what it was to act, but like I didn't know what it was like getting to the character. So for him, I just pretty much played it how, you know, young guy, he's a Yahoo boy, wants to dress good, he wants to live the good life, that type of thing. You can see like there were parts where my pidgin also wasn't good there. So like, you know, I just infused a little bit of pidgin, Yoruba once in a while. Looking at it now, I'm just smiling because, I mean, there's so much choices I made from a couple of scenes I've watched. And if I was to go back, I wouldn't make those choices again. But because of where I was at that time, I can understand why I made those choices. I was talking really fast. I was talking really fast when I was asking Peter for money. There was no need to talk fast. I mean, he's my friend. Well, I mean, I guess because, you know, it's my first time. Oh my God, I'm on screen. I mean, that's not how it is for me, but oh my God, we're re-recording, time is going, that type of film, working against time. Thing about film is audience has to hear it so that as we don't go and do ADR. I mean, ADR is compulsory for every film and we're getting to that point in Nigeria, but if we can avoid, you know, all these like tiny mistakes from my part, yeah. Shooting a feature film on an iPhone, imagine that. It was an iPhone and an iPhone 8 actually. The iPhone 8 was the B camera. It was the first of its kind and it's the same performance that you give because truth is, you know, even when I'm recording my audition tapes and everything, I use my phone and it's the same performance that you give on your phone that you should give anywhere else because they are not going to ask, oh, so because you were recording on an iPhone 8 or an iPhone 11, that's why you didn't give your best shots. So for me, it's whatever avenue I see myself, make sure I give it my best and, you know, it's not a case of anyone questioning my acting.
You don't blow my cash out. $3,000. $3,000. You don't have $3,000.
Guys. Calm down. I honestly don't think you can do.
What? So many. I didn't build excitement for the audience. Like, okay. So there's something in film that's called building excitement in the sense that I got the alert. I didn't know what I was expecting. But as I'm watching it now, I can see that, okay, it's already programmed into my head to be excited. I didn't build the excitement of, am I actually seeing what I'm seeing? Like, this is $3,000. I've never made that type of money before in my life. Yeah, the excitement works and everything, but it could have been louder because it's $3,000. Also, the fact that he's outside. And my biggest critic, so seeing this, I'm like, what am I watching? All of this is self-taught. I haven't been to a film school yet, but I plan on going to film school just to become, you know, the best at my craft. When I did Smallie's breakdown, it was a case of it's not coming from a well-to-do home, and everybody's aim in life is to, you know, be big, make money, make, you know, some serious heavy money at a young age. It's not justified. I'm never going to justify defrauding people of their hard-earned money because, yo, it's a crazy thing. And I feel like it's something that can actually, I mean, everywhere we go, there's always going to be frauds. Even the top dogs, the multi-billionaires are frauding people out of their money. So fraud is always going to be in every level of the society. But I mean, for bringing it back to Nigeria, it's something that it should actually be looked at more often, like more avenues for the youth to be useful during school and after school should be looked at. Because when I was in school, my mom always made sure that I had holiday jobs. She didn't care whether I liked it or not. I must always do something every holiday. And this was when I was in university. But she started imbibing that culture in me from secondary school days. So vocational studies should be taken more seriously in school by the government, you know, empowering the kids. What do the kids actually want to do? Because, I mean, in the future, I'm also looking at, you know, instead of kids actually having to do the basic 9 to 5, how can we empower these kids to follow their passion? Like, that's something I'm very passionate about because I'm one of the very lucky few. And I say lucky few because not a lot of people get to follow their passion and make it.
You know the vibe. Hey, my
God. Funny enough, all those drinks are props. It's mostly juice and Coke that's in it. That's a Nollywood secret, I'm telling you guys now. They can't actually give us alcohol to take on set because, bruh, it's not professional. If If I tell you, nah, man, that day it was raw pepper that we had. I think it was raw pepper that we had to put in our mouth because there wasn't actual SFX for this, the actual blood that time. It was raw pepper that was in our mouth with ketchup, and I'm like, oh, what? I remember having to drink so much water and milk after that scene. Cause bruh, my mouth was on fire. But for this scene, but most of the time it's usually edible blood that they give us now. I mean, Nollywood has gotten to that point. So it's edible blood they put in your mouth. And sometimes I catch myself swallowing because that thing's tasty. But not like actual raw pepper. Raw pepper was, I think it was hot sauce and ketchup. So that, the viscosity and all of that, all that English would be really obvious. And this thing was disgusting for me, like drooling. I think we had to like 2 or 3 takes called the close up, wide, medium shot. Ugh. For this story, I feel it was a case of, it's what pretty much every guy is going through, every girl is going through when they get to school. And, the lesson of delayed gratification. I mean, everybody wants to have it now, but if you start enjoying everything as opposed to enjoying the future now, what then are you going to enjoy in the future? Actors and crew work very hard to bring the films we love to screen. Please support their official release. Hi, I'm Adeoluwa Akintoba, and keep watching Arrow House Entertainment.